right, let's talk to Andrew Hutchinson from HawgBeat.com. He's the editor over there at HawgBeat.com, and he's with us here on Ruscin Zach. Good afternoon, Hutch.
How's it going, guys?
Good. You made it through the draft. Congratulations. It's all over with now. Who are there borderline people selected that you think are going to come back or go in? Just what's kind of a couple of people that might fit that description?
Well, I think the most obvious of all the picks, the Arkansas players and Arkansas signees, I think the most likely to be in an Arkansas uniform next year would be Drake Bernardo. He's one of the signees. He actually announced today via Twitter, similar to Peyton Stovall yesterday, that he was pulling his name out of the draft. He didn't want to get picked because he's going to play for Arkansas. And then about an hour later, the Diamondbacks took him, I believe, in the 17th round. But I mean, at that point of the draft, you see it happen every year. Usually it's late 30s. But this year, with there only being 20 rounds, we saw it a little bit in that range. Like a couple of years ago, Kumar Rocker, coming out of high school, was taken in the 38th round, even though everyone knew he was going to Vanderbilt. And I think that's going to be similar to Drake Bernardo. As far as the actual Arkansas players that have already been here and got drafted, there were 9 players picked. I expect all of them to sign. The 2 that I'm keeping an eye on are 2 that were taken today. Caden Monk, the lefty reliever, who was pretty good for Arkansas this past year. He went in, I believe, the 15th round. And then Charlie Welch, everyone's favorite pinch hitter, actually got drafted, I believe, in the 19th, pretty late. And so we'll see kind of what those guys decide to do. I think getting Caden Monk back would be huge. Obviously, Charlie Welch would be significant as well. I mean, he hit .388 and like 6 home runs playing, sparsely. And he would be a very good addition for next year's team, but I think there's just so much talent, in the lineup for next year that loss would be felt less than, say, a loss of a guy like Caden Monk. But I honestly think all of those guys, just right now, right here, I think all those guys signed professionally.
Surprised that Battles didn't get drafted?
I'm a little bit surprised based on, the last time we talked to Dave Van Horn, he expected him to go in the first 5 rounds. And, I mean, he definitely has the glove to be a professional baseball player. I mean, I talked to a former Major League manager before he actually ever played at Arkansas, and this guy told me that he has a glove to play shortstop in the big leagues right now. The question was the bat, and he struggled a little bit from time to time, at the plate, but he had some big hits, big home runs. We remember his home run in the SEC tournament against Louisiana Tech. So he's definitely a pro prospect. But I think he just really likes Arkansas. And I started hearing some rumblings before the draft, the couple of days before I was hearing that he was going to, leaning toward coming back and playing another year at Arkansas, and sure enough, that came to fruition. So,
but that decision's been made for him. When you go undrafted, your only option is essentially to come back.
Yes. Now, however, he could have gotten drafted. The key is his asking price. It's just like Peyton Stovall in the high school signing. I mean, he was asking for X amount of money, and he told teams, if you are not going to offer me this much money, don't bother drafting me. And I think that's what happened with Jalen Battles as well. There's no doubt he was good, one of the top 612 players available in the draft. He just didn't get offered enough to turn down another year at Arkansas.
Did you watch every pick?
Last year.
Did you watch every pick?
Yes, I had the live stream pulled up and the draft tracker. Yeah, I tracked all of them. I tried to keep up with all the SEC picks.
I feel like we need to take you out and just have, like put a GoFundMe together and just a take Hutch out
You
night.
need a beer, Hutch.
Really?
Man, a lot.
Yeah, I could use a drink tonight. That is for sure.
Well, where are you going? Because it's on me. Man, you're doing the Lord's work there, because I lasted 8 picks and I was done.
8 picks.
8 picks.
Oh, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm just thankful this year was only 20 rounds. Usually it's 40. And day 3 in a 40-round draft, and you've got 30 rounds. Those are long days.
How do you explain to your wife what you do?
I usually get a lot of eye rolls and things like that. So luckily today's draft, I mean, 4:30, and it's been over for a few hours. So I got it all done while she was at work. I mean, this worked out pretty well.
No.
I feel like you're rationalizing. I really do.
Andrew Hutchinson with us from HawgBeat.com. Let me pivot to football here for a second. And I may have asked you this before. I can't remember. But I'm going to ask it again because I saw again today somebody came out with the hardest schedule in college football is number one is Arkansas. What am I supposed to do with this piece of information? Like, I don't know how, like, when people talk about quarterback rankings, I know how to consume that. Oh, they think this guy's better than this guy. But when they come out with who has the toughest schedule, I don't know how to consume that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, especially as long as Arkansas is kind of in the cellar of the SEC because, they don't get to play themselves, and they're in the SEC West. So that makes it pretty tough. And then you throw in the fact that Texas is one of the non-conference teams, and Georgia's, one of your East opponents, and Missouri seems to be trending up. I mean, it all kind of adds up. To me, it's no surprise. I mean, every year, as long as they're in this conference and as long as they're in this division, they're going to have the toughest conference, if not the toughest, one of the toughest schedules in college football. So, I mean, it's almost like it goes in one ear, out the other every time I see that every summer around this time.
No.
Were you aware that Robert Moore's dad is the GM of the Royals?
You don't say.
I know, right?
I vaguely remember that being mentioned a couple of times while watching some of the road games on TV.
No,
games.
I feel like it's all. Were you aware that Dayton Moore had a son?
Hutch, they've showed it in every home game too. I know you're at the ballpark, and
I'm at the ballpark.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
So they're showing it. They're doing it on the road games too.
Yeah.
No, that's news. Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't know. If I was producing these things, we would do that once and we'd get it out of the way because I figure if it's a Razorback game, Razorback fans are watching it, so they don't need to be reminded 40 times about the same, piece of information.
Hutch, who's the best quarterback in the SEC? It's Bo Nix. Changed my mind.
It's not Bo Nix.
Thank you.
It's definitely not him. Is it Matt Corral? I mean, we saw him throw
six-pick Corral is the best quarterback.
I mean, maybe it's
I think
the guy at Georgia whose name escapes me.
JT Daniels.
From JT Daniel, maybe.
Hutch, you're underestimating the bounce Bo Nix is going to get by not having Chad Morris anywhere near him this fall for training camp and everything.
Hey, it worked out for Nick Starkel at San Jose State.
See?
That's right.
I mean, think about this. When Bo Nix was like everybody's SEC freshman quarterback on the freshman team, Chad Morris gets there for the Music City Bowl and he's awful. He's awful for a calendar year.
Just by his presence alone.
His mere presence brought him down.
Yep.
My point is this. A quarterback play in the SEC is really bad right now. And the fact that we can throw out 6 or 7 different guys as possibly being the best quarterback in the conference, to me, is really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Pro Football Focus just released their ranking of all 130 quarterbacks the other day, and Arkansas is pretty low down there, like 86, I want to say, is where they put KJ Jefferson.
86.
But really, it's because we just haven't seen enough of him. I mean, we haven't seen enough of, the guy at Florida. I think his name's Emory Jones. I think he's really, really talented, but we just haven't really seen enough of him. And I mean, you could say that about 6 or 7 quarterbacks across the league, and we just don't know. I think the reason everyone likes to say Matt Corral is because he was a starting quarterback last year, put up really good numbers, albeit with the 6 interception game against Arkansas. JT Daniels, even he was somewhat of a small sample size. I think he only started 4 games or something for them as he was recovering from injury. So just a lot of unknown and uncertainty at that position across the league.
Let me just offer this. Derek mentioned Nick Starkel. Ty Story, Cole Kelly. If you tell me that Bo Nix isn't the best quarterback in the league, I'm going to poo-poo it.
I mean, that is a strong possibility. I mean, I'm sure Ben Hicks is somewhere going, man, if only I had one more year.
He is the best insurance agent in Columbia, Missouri.
I feel like we're going to be sitting there in December in New York City. Spencer Rattler's going to be sitting there, Bo Nix, and then a third person's going to be sitting there. Just because Chad Morris is based on nothing more than the fact that Chad Morris is no longer living in the same area code as Bo Nix, he's going to be better. That's just that's the way it's worked out so far. He is the good luck Chuck of college football.
Bo Nix for Heisman.
That's right. There you go.
Now the question is who's the quarterback at Allen High School? I mean, if I'm him, I need to be looking at transfer.
God bless that kid.
His parents must have went, oh,
yeah, exactly.
a minute. We're getting who?
That's right. Oh boy, yeah. I want to know if he called Gus about going to UCF, and Gus was like, "Oh no, we're good, thanks."
Gus didn't even pick up the phone.
That's right. Oh, he just hit the decline button on the screen. Yeah,
just said mush.
I mean, Gus probably isn't too sad about it. I mean, he got a pretty big payday out of the whole deal, and now he's living in Orlando, Florida, instead of Auburn, Alabama. I mean, that seems like a decent trade-off, right?
Gus is playing 3D chess. We're all playing checkers out here.
Correct.
He figured it out. He sent Morris. He recommended Morris here to ruin this program. Check. Then he brought him to Auburn so he could get out of there. Check. And now, there you go.
He's happy.
He's getting all the checks. He's figured it out. We're the ones who haven't figured it out. He's figured it out. All right. Anything you're looking forward to about SEC Media Days next week, Hutch?
I am looking forward to it getting over with. If I say that, I get in trouble. But you can say that, and it's totally fine.
He carries the cachet of Sports Writer of the Year.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
Have you gotten that tattoo yet?
No, I'm definitely not going to get a tattoo. I think I've mentioned it before. I'm not going to pay somebody to stick me with a needle. That's not my cup of tea.
Did your dad?
No,
Father of Sports Writer of the Year?
I don't know if he would go that far.
Are you going to the ceremony in December?
That's the plan, assuming nothing crazy happens.
Who's presenting you? Is it like the NFL Hall of Fame? Does somebody present you?
I have no idea. I think my wife's going with me, so I'm sure she would be thrilled to do that.
Let me give you a piece of advice that's a bad idea. I'm telling you right now, do not let your wife present you in the Hall of Fame because everything you've done wrong is going to come up.
That's right. It's going to be a roast all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely. She's going to be soliciting ideas. There was a one time you didn't take out the trash when you were told. So bad idea.
So before we conclude here, this is a really interesting question because, middle July, boring sports week, but also last day of the draft. So, Hutch, how many spreadsheets do you have open today?
Yes.
Currently, I have 3 open. I opened up the third right before y'all called to get a little bit of work done, but I had 2 open simultaneously and working on them both during the draft. So, heavy spreadsheet day for me today.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and go to the computer just to see what was on a spreadsheet?
Well, no, most of my spreadsheets I have on Google Docs, and I have the Google Sheets app on my phone, so I don't even have to get out of bed. That's a pro
pathetic.
move.
That's pathetic, right?
Come on,
no, that's pathetic.
Can't say that.
Did you take your spreadsheets on your honeymoon?
Again, they're all on my phone, so I mean they go with me everywhere.
You can't do that, man.
All right. Zach trying to run off another member of the HawgBeat.com staff here.
We got a question from Brian in Prairie Grove specifically for you. What is your favorite cut of fry?
Ooh,
it is National French Fry Day.
Man, it's hard to go wrong with Chick-fil-A's waffle fries.
Waffle fries, good choice.
I think that would be my choice.
You throwing Chick-fil-A sauce on it?
So they've got this sriracha sauce, and I like that. I like that with my nuggets and the fries. That's my choice.
Okay. There you go, Ryan and Prairie Grove.
And as if these people at Chick-fil-A haven't already conquered the world, their macaroni and cheese is beyond compare. It is great. So there's another feather in the cap for the people at Chick-fil-A. The rich get richer.
We have opened the floodgates here. BE wants to know what size cloud you're using because it's got to be 10 terabytes.
Well, I do keep getting this notification from the Google Drive saying I'm 97%.
We're all getting that, man.
You're
It's a
redlining.
scam. It's a scam. We're all getting that.
You're redlining it. Yeah. All right, Hutch. We'll let you go. Thank you so much for the time today.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew Hutchinson, HawgBeat.com with us here.
Continues to associate with us.
I'm nice to him. You're the one badgering everybody that calls into the show.
Badger him.
Did you have him on your honeymoon? That's pathetic. How's that not badgering him?
But was I wrong?
It doesn't matter.
Was I wrong? I mean, it's something that somebody was thinking it. I just said it.
All right.